Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Trine Ruth Larsen and I'm from Norway. So English is not my natural language to speak, that's Norwegian. I want to talk about tea in this video. That's why I have this nice little teacup, beautiful teacup, and tea is a fantastic thing to drink, especially when it's cold. It's nice with a cup of tea. What can be wrong about a cup of tea? Or what can be wrong with tea? It's transported a long way, for us here in Europe at least. There is packaging involved that may be plastic. Those things are not positive. It should be better with that we drank something good produced locally. My biggest concern with tea is the plantations. I tried to look at photos, videos about these tea plantations, and there is large areas of only one plant. Of course, if you look closely, maybe there are a bit more plants there. On the photos, you see mainly tea plants, and they are small bushes. I do not know all details about tea plant. Some may be naturally small bushes, but I know that some of them are not naturally bushes. They would naturally grow to a big tree, but they are cut down to what I have read. They say waist height of waist, so it's easy to pick the leaves. And I also know some tea types use the stem and a little bit, no, not stem, well, stalk and a little bit of the twigs. But anyway, maybe there are trees with tea leaves on. Trees to me is a very positive thing, because then you can grow other things on the ground. Animals can walk there if there are trees with a bit that is a bit tall, and cut the lower branches. It's a fantastic way of using a space that you can use. The ground is free and you have the trees there. That's completely fantastic. Yes. But if there are bushes, they take up space on the ground. And the photos I have seen is small bushes all over a big area, and that is like a desert for insects and the wildlife. The space is taken by these bushes, and that's what I think is very negative. There must be, by I don't know how to say it in English, biodiversity. Many different species of plants, many different species of animals and insects. So that's a good use of a space, and that persons can also walk around there and make use of the space. And I hope, so that's my very negative thoughts about tea, because it's a lot of waste of tea. Everybody knows that. Everybody has seen it. Everybody has seen waste of tea. A pot of tea is cooked. When I cook a pot of tea, I love having a pot of tea. Sometimes I don't drink the whole pot, because it's 1.5 liter, my teapot. Then I take the water into because the teapot is of porcelain, so I can't heat it up on the stove. I heat it in now the word pot again, but I heat it in a pot of steel. So I heat up the tea again. I don't know. When I read about tea, they say you should not heat it up. I don't know. There's so many rules about the tea. I heat it up. It's perfectly good. In my opinion, the tea is perfectly good when I heat it up again. Put it into my teapot again. Maybe I add some more water in the steel pot and then add more tea to the pot again, but old tea is used again. So, but I guess everybody have seen waste of tea. What I think is a waste of tea is when they use one, I say they because I seldom do that, use a tea bag for just one cup. And usually the water doesn't get hot enough with one little cup. So you don't extract enough out of the tea bag anyway. So it's just when that one is thrown away, that tea bag, that's a lot of tea, a lot of taste in the trash, in the waste bin. So what am I trying to say? That we should use less tea. I know that's a big I think we should import just very, very, very less amount of tea than we do today. And for a country, well, that is the same for the tea producing country also, of course. I think the space that is used for tea production, to me, without having been there, it's just two large areas where wildlife could have been. If they have the bigger tea trees, yes, I can accept it with other types of plants on the ground. That's a good thing, but still I think there's too much waste of tea. It's too cheap and it's unnecessary. Here in Europe, I just say Europe to be very, it's easier for me to just say Europe, but it's the same, you can apply it to a lot of countries. There is a lot of plants here that we can use for tea. A lot. Many plants and berries. I don't want to mention anyone now, any specific plants, but just please, I'm making this video to make people think. You want something warm to drink, you want it to smell good, you want it to taste good. It should not be, and it should be healthy. That's one thing. Healthy, no pesticides, poison of any kind in the cup. The ground where the tea you make should be totally ecological, and that we would have full control of if it was more locally produced. There are so many plants we can use for tea. Maybe I can be more specific in another video. Locally produced, and then I know there are two points to make. What about the tea producing, the people who work with tea now in those countries, growing tea? It's not right that they lose their income, but the tea should be much more expensive. It should be an expensive product that those who really love and appreciates that type of tea, not just having something good and warm to drink, but are very interested in tea, really want that tea, and they pay a lot for that. Again, it's a huge topic, but that is my thoughts about it. It's not right, the waste of it that happens today. When we have it locally, we could make it locally, and then again we have the costs, because there in those countries where the tea is produced, the cost for labor is much cheaper, so they can pay people to go around and pick the leaves. That would be expensive here because the labor costs are so high. But somehow we must find a solution to that. I have a solution, but I think it's too long to talk about it in this video. But somehow we must collect wild plants that can be used for tea and dried here in our own countries. This topic is big, so I guess I need other videos to talk about it. But hopefully I've made people think more about the tea, the production of tea, what it costs regarding wildlife in the producing countries. That's my goal with this video. Thank you so much. Ah.